Hi everyone, I thought I'd just do a quick update video in relation to the coronavirus pandemic, but specifically not about furloughed workers directly on this occasion. There are some changes that you may have missed over the past few days in and amongst all the announcements. The first is that as a result of the pandemic and restrictions on taking leave, the government has announced that up to 4 weeks of statutory leave can be carried over into the next 2 holiday years if it's not been reasonably practicable to take that in the current year as a result of the effects of coronavirus, either on the worker, the employer, the wider economy or society. So most commonly this is going to arise in situations where work actually gets busier during this pandemic. So particularly suppliers to the NHS and in the social care sector. It may also apply where a business can only afford to pay the government subsidy to furloughed workers, so they may want to restrict the taking of leave during that time. Second change, and this is temporary changes have been made to the requirements to carry out right to work checks on prospective employees. So the current Preventing Illegal Working guidance states that original versions of documents have to be taken. Those documents should be checked in the presence of the holder, and copies should be made and then retained. Because of the social distancing issues, the government has amended that guidance temporarily. So a scanned copy or photo of original documents can be used by email or on somebody's mobile phone. A video call should then be arranged with the individual. So they need to hold up their original documents against the camera so that the digital copy can be checked. And then the employer needs to record the date on which that check has been done. And make a note that says adjusted check undertaken on whatever the date is due to COVID-19. So once the COVID-19 measures end, so once social distancing measures end, the employer will then have 8 weeks to carry out a retrospective right to work check. So that's going back to the usual way of checking original documents and noting this by way of taking a copy in the presence of the holder and annotating the original. One minor point, new legislation has finally been passed permitting the payment of statutory sick pay from day 1 rather than day 4, where an employee is incapable or deemed incapable of doing work by reason of COVID-19. That goes back to 13th of March 2020. I can't end the video without talking about furloughing of workers. I just wanted to answer the most commonly asked question that we've had over the past week. There's been a lot of commentary on people who have left the business after the 28th of February, maybe because of resignation and their new job has fallen through. They are now asking to be brought back onto the payroll and furloughed. As far as our advice goes at the moment, we are looking purely at the government guidance which was released late last week. In relation to ex-employees, that states that if they were made redundant since the 28th of February, they can be rehired by the employer and then furloughed. In our view, it is not applicable to individuals who've left the business of their own volition or perhaps for reasons not relating to redundancy. For them to be rehired does go against the spirit of the guidance currently. Now, BEIS is apparently updating their guidance and will be providing something else before the end of the week, but until then, we are being cautious in the sense that we are complying with the guidance as it stands at the moment and advising on restricting those coming back onto the payroll to people who've just been made redundant. As soon as we have further guidance and updates, we will put them out on here and on our website, so please do feel free to look at those resources. Thank you.